Hi guys, it's Ona, your energy customer service rep from Chicago with Dr. Vicky for an episode of Moonshine, full moon in Scorpio that's going to occur on Monday, May 12th, 2025 this is a kind of a neat time of day. So it would be what, Vicky, 1 o'clock your time?
I think so, yeah.
One
In the afternoon, right?
12:56 your time, 11:56 my time. So we're going to talk about the ideas around this moon, which I already said feel a little anxious. Second thing, I am going to take care of this dog. I have to apologize for, and I will later when we do moonshine, that he's like that. And I'm sorry, and I'm trying to like manage him at the same time, but sometimes he's really out of control.
Yeah, yeah. He's old and he's deaf and he's used to being the king. There are no kings save for owner's apartment.
Right. The Pope there he's again because he knows I've got the treats on the table for him, but I've got long lasting ones. So this is going to be better. So the Scorpio full moon, let's look at this chart because
Ooh,
I
hold on one
know that the
second.
full moon in May is supposed to be like flowery and fairy and picking up on those fertility things and green, and it still feels like it's got that buzz to it.
The moon, you mean? Say that. I'm sorry. Michael asked me a question on us. He's like, "Oh, you're doing a video."
It said even though the full moon in May is like the flower fairy kind of
Oh,
May,
yes, yes.
the
Okay.
the bunny moon, the milk moon, it has all these fertility related issues to it. It still has that underlying note of anxiety. I am getting sulfur, but I think that's just the note of the day, which is Saturday, May 10th. And it's been kind of that sort of Saturny kind of thing going on. So I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
it's a 24/6 day, right? Is it? No, no, no. It's a 26/8, right? Am I right?
26/8 is the full moon day.
Oh, that's the full moon. That's right. So it's 20. So it's a 24/6 day.
So 24/6, it's a Queen of Wands day.
The Queen of Wands day, and the Queen of Wands in the tarot is in the Tree of Life is right here in
Yeah.
Bina,
Yeah.
the black one, and that's Saturn.
Yeah. So it
So
smells like Saturday.
it smells like Saturn. There you go. We found the connection.
Been assigned that sulfur issue, ammonia is Jupiter. They're all lined up. Like when things are happening, I'm like, sometimes I have to look at what's going on in the sky and then connect it to, okay, there were a few fireworks last night and stuff like that. But it is feeling like a Saturny kind of day. This is the chart for the full moon, and you got it
Right.
all highlight. There's a big old highlight in pink there,
We have a mystic rectangle.
which is a Taurus color.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Right.
that just happened to happen, but these mystical rectangles, we've actually seen quite a few of these of late, but they're usually connected to the nodes because that's like one thing that's always in opposition to each other. But it does create a space in a way, I think, for creation. It's a very creative space. People who have these tend to be able to create their own reality in a way.
Yeah.
Um, but there's other stuff going on, so it's not like you're necessarily delusional in this place.
Do
But
you feel like this full moon is a good place for doing some creative work, writing, sculpture,
well, always,
gardening?
always, yes, always. I think you know the it's a full moon in Scorpio, but the time of year is Taurus, right? So
Yeah.
it's a Venus rule sign, and Venus is the arts. Um, it's an abundant time. It's a time of great abundance as
Yeah.
well. But of course, as with always, it seems, here's Uranus. This is this is up in the 10th house. This is really close to the 47th Mars. Exactly. I think his Mars is
Yeah, with
in,
alcohol, this is like
it's
the
like, yeah, yeah.
past.
Because Algol is here now, is right here, right? And then the other thing that's happening right now is Chiron. And you can't see it on this. I can bring up a different chart, but Chiron at 25 of Aries is conjunct Eris at 25 of Aries.
Okay.
So,
Relation to the moon, are they they're
well, it's a wounded feminine energy. I feel it more connect. Well, it's a wound, right? Aries.
yeah,
We've been dealing with that, right? Um, but the fact that Eris is more of a sort of a feminine, angry feminine energy. Not completely. It's
that
also
could be, yeah.
rebellious, right? But it can
Yeah.
express that way. It doesn't. It's she's an agent of chaos as well, but
I
based
wanna,
on
yeah. I want to relate that to the like the underlying anxiety, even though it doesn't like, Ouija itself around the moon as much, but there is that feeling of Chiron conjunct Eris.
we do have
Sure.
an inconjunct between Jupiter and the Moon, and inconjuncts are antsy. There's an antsy quality, and there's actually a yod to the Moon between Jupiter and Chiron and Eris are
Okay.
making a sextile, and you can sort of see here that fickle finger of fate at
Yeah.
that 23 degrees of the moon,
Yeah.
which is it's funny. You should talk about funnies, bunnies, and fairies, right? When you were
Yes.
talking about it, the Sabian symbol for 23 degrees of Scorpio is a bunny metamorphs into a fairy.
Yeah. It's that kind of moon. It's that May moon where all of that the communication, the intercommunication of species.
So it says here, refining animal instincts. Some of our baser inclinations can be trained into a higher spiritual expression, transforming our baser instincts in an opposition to the sun at 23 degrees of Taurus, a jewelry shop, improving upon nature, crafting raw materials into something more precious gives evidence of a profound symbolic relationship with nature, improving upon nature.
Yeah.
So there's sorry about that. There's all this I just like this happens to me all the time. When I want things to move, now I can't find the stupid thing. Oh, here we go. It doesn't move and I want it to move. I click on it, doesn't budge.
That's like nature. The moon's moving into Scorpio soon anyway, so the whole party is just beginning to start, I think, for this full moon.
The other thing that's worth noting with this is that part of this configuration is this mystic rectangle, but Saturn is, and even Neptune still very close, still making aspects to the other transpersonal planets,
Yeah.
and Saturn on the North Node. I feel like Saturn on the North Node is telling us that we have to deal with endings. Saturn is about ready to move out of
Yeah.
Pisces. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac.
And
So
Scorpio full moon is that there's an anxiety related to an ending,
loss,
a loss. Right.
loss, losing, just change. I mean, nobody likes this kind of change.
Right.
Like life is always changing, but I don't think we've ever experienced a change that's so all encompassing and profound that we are now. I mean, people personally have felt that, I think, in their lives. I certainly have had times in my life when, your life just gets totally shifted.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's ever been on this level, this scope, like the whole world like clicking in it,
You
and
know what? It's like you're walking around thinking, "Oh, I'd like to replace this carpeting," and it got replaced with a bed of freaking nails. It's like things needed to be changed and moved around, but you didn't
nail.
pick this style, right? This hurts. It
Yeah,
got the
it does.
Like it's not the right movement I'm looking for. It's, but
The
it's,
other thing I want to point out is this card, right? The Princess of Wands or the Page of Wands in other decks is the message. There's a message through this coming
yeah,
from spirit. So
yeah. So the ruler of the new moon, full moon, I'm sorry, is Pluto because Pluto rules Scorpio.
Pluto and Mars, you would have to look to Mars as well, right? Because Scorpio is co-ruled by Pluto and Mars. So
Yeah.
Mars is in Leo.
Yeah.
Mars and Leo wants to be in charge.
And I'm seeing like fire signs just line up in my
Well,
in
it's interesting that we have Pope Leo, right?
there's a lot of fire and the moon is a water sign.
Yep.
So I honestly have to say I think color therapy would be a good modality to sort of tune into for this full moon, the therapy and the color of things.
Yeah, and I think any creative, and of course, gardening for those of us who can still garden,
Or
right?
using the color theory when you're gardening.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah, that kind of thing.
I mean, I've just been, doing. I go through these periods, artistic periods, where I theme out, and
Yes.
my theme has been all my little.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I should make these what do you call it? A mobile, right? I should make a mobile
Yeah.
of this. That would be cool.
I think
I'll put that on
honestly,
my list.
I would have you've got a lot of like logs and tree branches and
Oh,
stuff like out there. I'd have a live, big old live version of that in my backyard.
yeah. Well, don't think I'm not. We have to clear out brush first before we can make those cool things. But one of my plans over the last couple of years, how your plans like they're starting your head like a little pea and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger. Now I have like a whole pea plant, but um, I want to do like sculptures of the zodiac.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
but like out of different, like we have all these beautiful cedar branches. I wanted to make like a centaur out of it,
Yeah.
you know because some of it looks like the back leg of a horse. I mean, they're beautiful. They have
As
these.
it's right. When you're starting to train your plants, you have an idea for how you think they're going to grow, and they do something else. You're like, oh, that looks like Venus. Now
Mhm.
let's figure that one out. And like do that would be so cool.
Instead of like, how in church they have the Stations of the Cross.
Yeah.
This would be the Stations of the Zodiac.
Yeah. That might be a good like thing to do for this full moon is start to train a plant in your garden to grow into a symbol or something
Yeah.
that, you know,
and
I
maybe figure out at like equinox, when everything is even in this space, where the constellations actually
yeah,
lie, in what direction. Like, I know that when there's a Sagge Moon, I can see it in my bathroom window. It goes
yeah,
from my bathroom window, goes down like in the second floor. The beam comes down the stairway in my house. I
yeah,
know the moon's in Sag. I'm like,
yeah,
oh, look, the moon must be in Sag. And I check it, and sure enough, it's
yeah,
in Sag.
yeah. This is going to be an interesting moon to do something creative, I think, which has got a Scorpio background to it too. And Mars and Leo. I mean, come on.
Right. And this is also connected to that new moon, of course, in Taurus. This is the fruition of that of the new moon.
What was that new moon? What day?
Um,
Do you remember? I
that
could
was April. Oh wait, I have it
very
right
end,
now.
yes.
It was April. 1 second. I think I. Oh my
Just
goodness.
so you have like an idea in your
Oh,
head,
it was 2 weeks ago. It's because
27th. It was April 27th, and it was a Page of Cups day,
right. Do you remember? It was. Oh, here it is. I got it right here.
or 40 over 4. So 2 weeks ago, Sunday, intentions and things what has happened since.
Right. And it was at 8 degrees of Leo. 8 degrees of Leo. Let me quickly look at the Sabian for that, just as a reminder.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, it'll all come rushing back as soon as I look at it, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah. So
I,
this, we're kind
I
of like ending that 2 week time frame. A lot has happened in that time.
well, that's what I mean about things. Oh, a sleigh without snow. That's right. It was about preparing for what's to come. It was about preparing for what's to come. And I think maybe this full moon is kind of an indication in a way of what's to come. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you find any crystals that you kind of sort of bounced in your direction for the,
Well, full moon's always moonstone, selenite, right?
yeah.
Those are. But you know what might be an interesting? There's also a black moonstone, and I think for actually I have a necklace. I think for a Scorpio full moon, a black moonstone would be
If you have, yeah, but a black stone, because that's one of Scorpio's,
right. Obsidian.
even though it's that flower fairy, bunny moon, that's all pastel-y kind of thing. Something that for the Scorpio would be a black, like
Obsidian, probably,
sit, yeah,
or patchy tears.
lava glass,
Right.
something like that. Um, Help you sort of, I would can't say grounding because it's the water sign that has a Mars influence, so it's not so grounding, but something for that because there is that feeling of, anticipatory anxiety, like anxiety before it happens.
Right. Well, I know that there were even some readers thinking that feeling something was going to happen and
Okay.
doing readings on it. So,
Okay. So, watch for it. It's Monday in the noonish time, and the moon is just heading into Scorpio right now. So this weekend being Mother's Day weekend and, allowing yourself to indulge in special plans and stuff like that. I think things with obviously emotional stuff is going to just naturally occur just because the moon's in Scorpio for the nature of it. But to think twice, maybe.
well, remember you're creating your reality with your thoughts and your actions and your words and your deeds. So, make sure if you're going to say something that it's worth saying, make sure you're putting your energy where it matters the most to you and where it's going to help you the most because one of the lessons of Taurus is self-sufficiency. I mean, this is a time both self-sufficiency and interconnectedness. I mean, it is the axis of this full moon is a relational axis.
Yeah.
It's where we share our resources, it's where we share our bodies, it's where we share our values. um, it's about taxes, right? Social
Yeah.
security is a Scorpio idea. So all of these things, um, I mean, it'd be easy enough, I guess, for this people. I think people are concerned that it's all going to get blown up, but
Yeah.
I don't think so. But we don't know. We don't really know what's in store for us. But I do feel like there's a little bit more balance
Yeah.
that you know I feel like the whole pope thing. I feel like this pope is very similar to the last pope. I feel like this pope was sort of put in place, but it was on so he's a younger version, so he has more energy, right? And I feel like in the Trump years we lost so many really good people on the good side, like John Lewis and the Cummings and Jimmy Carter. But I feel like that people now on what we would consider the good side are starting to come up. The new people are
Yeah.
starting to come up, and I think it's really fabulous. It's good to see.
It is. We have to concentrate on those things because those are the things you want to become reality. And what makes us anxious is the uncertainty of the what our reality is going to be.
I think it's the uncertainty
Or-
because even when terrible things happen, as long as they've happened, you know what you're up against, and you become, you know, what you need to become in the situation. The anxiety comes with not knowing what's coming down the pike. But I really do think here's one person coming down the pike.
Yeah,
I really think that honestly, I'm very optimistic. I'm optimistic because I believe that when people are freed to dream, you know, like they're going to have to. We're going to have to redream a new world in, and you know, we do have we do have the conjunction happening next year. This time, especially I think in the summer, is going to be a time when we're experimenting with what we want the world to look like. Once we can get a better idea of what we want and have a vision, like we need. I was listening to um, our friend Cash Peters, and he
mhm.
was saying how the Democrats need a story, you know, something for
Oh,
people
okay.
to believe in. And I'm like, I'm all for the story.
I did see.
So I think we need to start creating a story of an alternate way of being, living with each other in community, helping each other, you know, maybe being less dependent on the government and the state and a little bit more on because it starts in the community and then it can grow into something. Do you know what I mean? Like I think that's a
I think it's every you can definitely feel like that every day, right? Like we need to start thinking like this. We need to start thinking like this. And maybe we need to start putting these kinds of things down on our altars to sort of reiterate that, you know, you are what you create. Your thought process can make or break you and everybody around you too.
yeah.
Right? So during this full moon, if themes come up, ideas come up that can make or break a relationship or something you've been holding on to for a long time, because those are like deep ones.
Well, with Scorpio, it's very easy to like for the resentments to come flying out of your mouth.
Mars is in Leo right now, so
That's
you're
right.
probably spending
No
your
one's
ego.
people are gonna tell you the truth. They're not gonna except, you know, for the you know who I'm talking about, but everybody else is probably just gonna tell you just exactly how they feel.
Yeah. So that might be
Be
something
prepared.
around before, even if you don't, if you're trying to control yourself, if you recognize it in somebody else and say, oh, okay, that's right, that's what's going on right now, then at least you're prepared to create your own reality, change your thought, and change the outcome, right? He's barking at the door. It's so windy that the door is kind of like wobbling, like
Yeah, yeah, like somebody's trying to get in.
because I do have the windows open a little, so it creates this weird like tunnel thing. There isn't anything else that this dog needs right now, except for me to loosen his harness a little bit. For
Well,
this,
I
this
me too, Jibs. Me too. It's tough. All the stress eating.
oh yeah, oh my goodness. So I do have to say, all right, we'll talk about Mr. Sisters tonight when we sort of pick up on the week and tariffs and things that, you know, might be scarce, might not be, but it's going to be okay. And it starts with your thought process for this full moon in Scorpio and recognizing that some deep stuff might erupt opposite the sun in Uranus.
Yes.
Gonna
And
witness some eruption.
it can be really deep wounded, even ancient. There could be ancient wounds. There's a real sense of
Ancestral stuff.
ancestral stuff. Yeah.
And it's Mother's Day. So it all kind of makes sense.
The earth is our mother. We
You got
must take
this,
care
right?
of
We
her.
got this. You got this. This is going to be an interesting full moon. Look at this doc.
He's the king.
Trying to tell me to move, you know, to get to like this is how it gets my attention. We're gonna go now. And I'm gonna try and get him under control for later. He'll be all right.
We'll figure something out.
We'll figure something out. And if I come up, I did get like not rhodochrosite, but rhodonites.
Yeah.
You know what I did? I'm trying to like configure my plants and stuff, and I tripped over one and it rolled out of it, boop, 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 down the carpet. And I had it in this was yesterday, and I put it in my pocket, and I do feel a sense of peace. It's got that color to it. What I call the number 6 is a light pink, sparkly. So something that's easy on your eyes. Because, Taurus is about easy on the eyes.
Yes, it is.
Would be good.
It's about peace.
Yeah. What brings peace to your senses?
I like that.
I like that too. Okay.
My wait,
Description.
my husband is in the process of making a Guinness chocolate cake with buttercream. Uh,
Uh-huh.
the stuff that you drink, the Irish stuff.
Oh, Bailey's
Bailey's, yeah, Bailey's buttercream.
for the full moon.
Well, for yes. But we're making it. He's made it. He just has to make the buttercream now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how we're celebrating chocolate.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect colors for Scorpio too, the browns.
Absolutely.
All righty, guys. You'll see the altar when it goes up. I'll figure that out as we sort of like plug along the next day. Giblets and I will be in on the morning and Mystic Sisters tonight. So we'll see you. Thank you
The
so much.
Mystic Sisters will be on my channel because we're doing that back doing that.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Love you, love you, love you.
We'll see you later.